Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the prop line tool from Alterran with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very, very welcome. Well, if you're anything like me, you probably already use the prop line tool. It was first released back in May 2016 and at the time of recording was last updated in May 2018. The thing is, it's a far more powerful tool than I have ever given it credit for. Yes, it's great for drawing out fences and hedges, but it can do a whole lot more. Now, today's tutorial will be covering all of the basics for those of you completely new to the tool and haven't got a clue what's going on. And then for those of us that have been using it for quite some time, I'll show you some of the advanced settings. And I think you may learn something new today if you're anything like me. First of all, though, you'll need to subscribe to the mod if you don't already have it. The link is in the description. Of course, you can go straight to the Steam workshop and search for it yourself if you prefer. But while you're there, you could also do with subscribing to More Beautification and or Find It. Both those links will also be in the description today as well. Find It and More Beautification will help you find the props and the trees that you're going to want to be drawing your prop lines with. Right, once you've done that, you start up your game, head off to the content manager and enable those mods and you are good to go. Right, today we are going to be building on this map here. It's St. Catherine's Point. It's by a creator by the name of BonBonB. That is me, of course, and I'm doing a city build on it at the moment, so you're more than welcome to join me each week as we grow the city larger and hopefully maybe even use the prop line tool while we're doing it. Okay, let's start off with the basics, and the basic is let's open up the toolbar. I'm going to hit the escape button and there is our toolbar. Now, if you're new to modding, you may you may not recognize some of these buttons. Don't worry, the only ones you need to worry about today will be this one. This is the Landscapes and Disasters button. Once we select this, will open up all the trees and the prop toolbars as well through More Beautification. And then this button here, which is the Find It button, which is basically like a Google search engine for the game itself, enable you to find the asset if you know the name of it. Okay, let's crack on and do some prop line drawing, shall we? Let's go into this button and we will select a tree. I think we'll go with the bushy tree, the LP7 extra full bushy. I do believe this is a Pidelmo tree. I might be wrong. We'll click on that and we'll just select that button there and we'll just pop one down so you can see the tree. Well, look, we'll marvel at the tree before we start building. There you go, one marvelous tree. Yes, the simulation is on pause at the moment, so it's not swaying in the wind. Once you've done that, I'm just going to delete that and it's gone. Brilliant, it's reselected it. Now, the normal setting would bring up this brush options menu so that you can adjust the size of your brush and the strength of it, but we won't be doing that today because we know all about other mods for that now, don't we, guys? What we will be looking at are the other buttons that have popped up down here. So that's your single default button for PLT. PLT, of course, is prop line tool. I know somebody will be asking me that, so I'm going to state the obvious. Then we have the straight button, we have the curved button, we have the freeform button, and we have the circle button. Now, these are all very obvious and very straightforward. I'm just going to show you very briefly, because if you know how to build a road within Cities Skylines, then you're going to know how to work these first three buttons on their own. Anyway, prop line tool straight, click, draw, click, there we go, and right click to deselect. We have a straight line of bushy trees. And then if we choose the curved button, this is the same as drawing a curved road. Click, draw, click, and pull to one side, and click one bent. Yep, all good. One bent row, that's what I'm trying to say, curved row even. And then the freeform, click, and then start it, draw it, freeform it, freeform it, freeform it. Very similar to the curved. And there we are. And we have some nice rows of trees. Brilliant. And then right click there to deselect, go into the circle mode. Now the circle mode is slightly different. It draws from the radius. So we'll click, draw out the radius and click. There we are, and then, oh look, dancing trees. Oh, I do like dancing trees. And I click again, and right click to deselect. So it's as simple as that. Now, if you've made a mistake, we do have an undo button with the prop line tool, Control Z, and then that will take out, I do believe it's the last 256 steps, and we are completely clean. All good. So what we also have though are, I'm going to go back to the I'll go back to the curved line actually. We have these two extra buttons. We have one that says toggle fence mode, which switches on or off depending. We'll just leave it off for the moment. And we have this one here, which is the toggle control panel. Now let's have a look at that control panel. Once you open that one up, we have, first of all, parameters. We have one here that says item-wise control, place one item at a time along the curve. And then this one here, which is place items at a discrete interval. Well, we're already selected that. That's the darkened one, it's a selected one. And that is basically what we were doing there at those intervals. Now underneath, I'm going to right click again. Underneath, it says auto default. Now what does that mean? Well, the spacing for these trees on this line, on this curved line here, is 13.32 meters. Why? Well, that's to stop the trees from overlapping. Let's have a look at choosing a different tree. Let's choose the leafy full. Choosing leafy full, it's dropped to 10.67 meter. And then once again, you can see the trees are a little bit closer together because they're slightly smaller. And then we'll choose this one, Corsican pine, draw that one out, and it's a 12.29. So it auto defaults to basically the kind of the width of the tree. It's not strictly accurate, but it's a good default level. You can, however, change these settings by either upping and downing with these buttons, up 0.1, down 0.1, up 100, down 100, or you can actually just type in the setting that you want. Let's go for a setting of 8. No reason. Go back to bushy tree, setting of 8, and that's the distance of, oh, back to 13.2. I'm sorry about that. Try that again. 8, enter, drawn it out. There we go. Much closer together now than they were before. Control Z to undo that one. And of course, if you bring the setting right down to maybe say a 3 meter, draw that like that, we've got more of a hedgerow going on here as the trees come much closer together. Right, all the basic stuff. So that's your auto default on and off there. We'll undo that. Now the other option is to do the item wise control. Select that one. Now this was new to me. We're going to draw this one out again. We're going to draw out our line and click. Now the tree is stuck to the line. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to try and explain it a little bit better as we do it. So once again, we're drawing out as we did before with the space-wise control, where the trees were already in place. Right click to deselect that. Going over to the item-wise control, doing the same thing, drawing out the line, only this time there's only one tree on there. Right, I'm going to click and fix this line into place there. Now the line is fixed. I've basically let go of that. And now just move my cursor backwards and forwards along the line, and you'll see that the tree is following the cursor. And if we click, it will place the tree at the position of the cursor. So let's say we wanted to do something a bit fancy. So want to have it one down here, a bit of a gap, then a little bit closer together, and there we go. So we are strictly sticking to the curve, and bam. As simple as that. I'm going to right click to deselect, and there is our curved line with the item wise control. Control Z to undo all of those, all the steps one at a time, like such. Let's do another one of those item wise. So select, pull it out to there, and we could do this. But how about, no, I don't want these trees, I want these trees. And you can switch between trees on the fly. So that's pretty smart as well. Something I didn't realise that you could do with the mod. Now, something else that you can do with the mod, let's come out of this one and undo all of that. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I want to do one thing at a time here. So again, this time I'm going to go back to the bushy tree. And I'm going to draw out our curved line, like so. But before I click left click to fix this into place, hold down the control button and then click. Now you'll see that our line has fixed or has nodes in place, so we can actually move the line around after it is in place. I think this is going to look a little bit better if we go and do this in the other setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to deselect all of that, come across to the spacewise. This will make a bit more sense, I think, with all the trees in place. So draw this one up, put it across, hold down control, it goes green, click it into place. So now we have these nodes in place, so we can actually draw out the two ends of the prop line. So that end, this end as well, draws that across, and then of course we've got the pivot point, which is let go of that one, pivot point here. So those ones that you'd expect to find, but there is a fourth pivot point, a fourth control point as well, and that is the second tree in. If you look into the second tree in, you'll see there is a selection around that one. There's none on the others, it is just that second tree, and that defines the spacing between the trees. So if you didn't know exactly what spacing you wanted up here, using the spacing button, if we come and select the second tree and move it out, in fact I'm going to pull right back so you can see this, we're going to move it across. The wider you move them apart, all the trees move wider apart as well. Move them closer together, and suddenly we've got a hedge. So let me just show you that one more time. Deselect all of that. So we're into these spacing wise control. We're going to draw out, I'm going to draw out a curved line. Could easily be a straight line as well. In fact, I'm just going to go back to auto defaults distance so we can see what we're doing. Right, so draw that one out, pull that across to there. Control before you click, click. That's now fixed into place. Yes, we can select the ends and move the ends around. We can move the pivot point around as well, like that. But then find the second tree in. There's your second tree there. And then if we just select that one and move it, you can move all the trees closer and further apart as to your desires. Pretty smart, isn't it? Now, the next thing, this is the one that blew me. I did not know about this at all. Right. Hover over the line. Hold down the Alt button, sorry. So everything now goes purple. And now click, left click on that line. Notice the trees have gone darker. Why? We have just copied the line. Now we can let go of the Alt button. And we have got one line on top of the other, which can just be dragged out. I'll show you that one again. I'm going to do it with the straight line tool for no reason whatsoever. So straight line tool this time. We can get it to select. I'm going to just shut down the mod and then reopen it up again. It wouldn't let me select the straight line tool. There we go. Now we're back on the straight line tool. Better. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to draw this one out. And control and click, and we have this line underneath. Then hold down the Alt button, click on the line, and that's duplicated that line. You saw everything get darker, and you can drag it out and click it into the position you want it in. I'll show you that again. Hold down the Alt button, goes purple, hover over the line and then click it. It goes darker. That's because we have doubled up, and there we are again. And left click it into place. And it's as simple as that. If we hold down the control button, we can then move this around, and it's just so many things to play with. I can't cope. Anyway, sorry. Okay, right. So we've done this. Getting excited now. Of course, it doesn't have to be just trees. We go into the menu. We can choose props. We'll choose a crate for no reason, and we'll go into circle mode with the crate. There we go. We have a circle of crates. And again, you can do this via Find It. Go into Find It, and what we're going to do with Find It is we're going to choose a fence. Not a network fence, because the network fences obviously have their networking already built in place. But if you've got just a regular standard fence unit like this one here, we'll see, plop that one down on its own. Now, gone are the days where you then, if you wanted to place a fence together, you have to position it as accurately as you could, and it was a bit of a faff, if I'm honest with you. Now we have this. So we go back into straight. We could do curved. We'll do curved in a minute. The toggle fence mode. So first of all, we're going to leave it with the fence mode off, and I'm just going to we'll go with straight. Now we're going to try and join this fence up with this fence here. This is not in fence mode. See how perfectly aligned, yeah? Click, and I'm just going to draw it out. And look, the fence hasn't actually aligned with the end of that fence. It started in the middle. And what this does, when you're in regular mode, it positions your cursor in the middle of the prop. What you want to do when you're building with fence mode is you kind of want the cursor to be on the end of the fence. So we're going to switch now over to toggle fence mode. And now if we draw that out, that is the actual start point of the fence. So what we'll do is we'll now go over to the start of the fence here, and it will align up with that point very nicely indeed. And that is quite a nice bit of fence there. And of course you can do all the usual with the curved fences, and all the other settings apply as well. So we'll do a little curved fence there. That looks good. And I'm going to do another little curved fence over here. But before I release, I'm going to hold down the control button. And that now means that we have all these pivot points, and we can bend things around and move things as we did previously. And of course, by pressing the Alt button, clicking on the fence, we can actually duplicate the fence as well. All these things were new to me. Very smart. Now, in the settings, if we go into this setting here, we've got angle. Now, we'll do the angle first. We'll do that with a different prop altogether. Let's have a look at benches. Basic bench. Okay, this is the bench we are working with. You may well recognize it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line of these fences using the prop line tool. And you'll see that they are, well, there's a small gap between them. And we could adjust that, as you know, with the space settings. I won't bother doing that today. We'll pull it up this way. So we've got this basic draw the line there. We can do a curved line of benches like that. All the usual, all we've covered already. Now if we go into control panel, in fact I'll switch the fence mode off. We're not in fence mode at the moment. Now we go into here. Angles. Now we have got relative angles. Let's say switch it by 30%. If we draw that same line out now, you'll see that the actual benches are aligned at a different angle. But this is a dynamic angle that actually changes as you change the angle of the curve around. If you switch dynamic to single, you'll see the difference there is now all the benches remain facing exactly the same angle. It makes a bit more sense if we go into straight line tool. So straight line from here, we will go into, well, once again, we'll go back to dynamic. So in dynamic, you can see that it's like the hand of a clock. See the way it goes around like this? And then if we go into single, you can see all the benches this time remain aligned north-south, or whichever angle you want it, you were started off in. You could obviously just set that. Anyway, It's very straightforward and very easy, that particular setting. We do have options. We do have options here. Go into the options. What have we got that's most interesting here? We've got the perfect circles button. Now this is an interesting one. If you are, let's stick with our benches, because benches. So you got your we haven't got perfect circles selected, and if we draw out a circle of benches there, and I probably want to make that back to parameters, increase the setting of the spacings. That's a bit better. Yeah, that's all good. And yes, so we've got a slightly better spacing there. But you'll see if we leave it as like that, that is and deselect, we've got a circle that we've got a little bit of overlap. It's a little bit of an awkward overlap going on there. We can do the same thing again, selecting perfect circles this time. Do exactly the same thing here, but this time everything is perfectly spaced out. So that's what it means by perfect circles, everything being perfectly straight out as well. Of course, if we go back into parameters and choose dynamic and then try and do the same thing again, we can have it spaced like this. And then if we want to be super clever, maybe go down to about 5 meters. Might be about right, or probably want to be a little bit closer, maybe 4 meters. There we go. We've got ourselves a nice big round communal picnic table. Excellent. So that's what the circles are all about. Now the fence fill. We're going to go back to fences to finish, and that's this this fence here. Let's go and find fence. Which one were we using? I don't recall. That one, I think. Yes. Right, so we got the right fence selected. That's always a good thing. And if we go into fence mode, which we have got here, so we can draw this one out from this point, and you know it's going to align with that end because we are in fence mode. If we're not in fence mode, starting from there, we'll start the fence halfway across that point. So we'll just undo that and go back to fence mode, do that in. Now, by drawing this out, you'll see it's kind of, we get to a point and there's like nothing building until we can put a whole new one in. Nothing building until we can put a whole new one in again. So we'll just click that to there. Now, if we go into the settings and choose linear fence fill, watch what happens this time. So we'll draw out from that point there. And if you look, it's kind of slides it out. It's constantly sliding out, maintaining the fence fill at all times. Which means that if we want to join back onto this fence, we can get it right to the point there without any overlap whatsoever. Like that. Where if we hadn't had that selected, let's undo that. And we do the same thing again with the linear fence fill not selected. It won't quite match. Yeah, there you go. We've got a small gap. Can you see we have come around this way? You see we have a small gap. And then if we do the linear fence fill and do exactly the same thing from that point there, and we can make it fit absolutely plumb by sliding it into place. Okay, not quite a beautiful fit, but it's something. It is something. It is a tool, and tools are always good. I think basically we have covered everything that you're going to need to know in using the Propline tool. It's a very, very powerful tool. Does an awful lot more things than I even realized, and it's a great thing. Alterran, we take a bow, my friend. You have produced a really popular and really powerful tool, and we love you for it. If you haven't already gone and liked up the mod, please do so. It's easy to forget to hit the like button. And of course, while you're at it, why don't you hit the like button on this video? It's really helpful to me too. Well, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Join me Monday to Saturday where we do What Map. We try and find you the right map for your next city build. We do all sorts of tutorials. We do well, we just do loads of stuff on this channel, and of course my own city build on this map. I've been BombBomB, you've been very, very welcome. Thanks for watching.